Inside the AHSAA, your weekly look at Alabama prep athletics. Brought to you by Russell Athletic, Wilson, Team IP, Cadence Bank, Coca-Cola, Encore Rehabilitation, Farmers Insurance, and AL.com.
Welcome to the Alabama High School Athletic Association Weekly Update, heard exclusively on the Alabama High School Athletic Association Radio Network. I am Randy Lee, and I bring news from this week's top stories from the AHSAA.
The AHSAA will welcome 192 head football coaches to its first playoff meeting of the 2012 State Football Playoff Saturday morning. The first round of the AHSAA football playoffs will be played November 9th. 32 teams in each of the 6 classifications will commence battling towards the coveted final destination, the 2012 Super 6 State Championships at Auburn University's Jordan-Hare Stadium. In the field are 5 defending state champions and 1 school that opened its doors for the first time just 3 months ago. 5 of the 6 state champs from 2011 advanced to the first round, but only 3 remain in the same class as last year. Defending 1A state champ Marion County won the Region 5 title and will host Meek in Round 1 next week. Defending 2A state champion Elba finished second in Class 2A Region 3 and will host Aliceville in Round 1. Handley, the 2011 3A state champ, moved to Class 4A this season and qualified as the 3rd seed in Region 3. The Tigers will be on the road at Calera in Round 1. The Class 4A state champ from a year ago, Jackson, moved to Class 5A and has continued its winning ways. The Aggies, 15-0 in 2011, extended that winning streak to 24 games with last week's Region 3 clinching win over Demopolis. The Aggies will be at home next week against Briarwood Christian in Round 1. Hartselle, the defending 5A state champs, qualified for the playoffs, but were deadlocked behind Region 8 winners Muscle Shoals with Russellville and Coleman for second place. The region finish for all 3 teams won't be settled until after the Week 10 games. And Prattville, last year's Class 6A state champs, finished 4-3 in Region 4 and failed to make the state playoffs for the first time since 1999. That streak included 4 state championships, including the 2011 title. Central of Clay County made the state playoffs for the first time in Class 4A. The Volunteers have the distinction of being the only school in the state to have never lost a game, going 9-0 in their initial season prior to last night's game with Madison Academy. Lineville and Clay County High School merged this summer to form Central, bringing together 2 of the state's most successful high school football programs. The big rivals have continued to play at the level their teams have been accustomed to despite moving from 2A and 3A to Class 4A in their first campaign. Among the state qualifiers is DAR, which is making its first playoff appearance.
Stay tuned for more of Inside the AHSAA right after this.
Fairhope High School head football coach Adam Weingarten says he's seen a lot of outstanding individual performances in his prep coaching career. However, he said Nate Andrews topped them all Friday night. Andrews, the Pirates quarterback, rushed for 268 yards in a key 58-23 Class 6A Region 2 win over Northview to seal a playoff berth for Fairhope. More importantly, he scored 7 touchdowns, 5 coming in a 188-yard second-half effort. His touchdown runs covered 4, 42, 53, 4, 1, 2, and 30 yards. I have never had a player score 7 touchdowns in one game, said Weingarten. Nate actually had an 8th touchdown called back. It was just a phenomenal performance. Fairhope wound up in a tie for second place behind Region Champ Daphne in Class 6A Region 2 with a 6-2 record. Foley came out of the tie as the 2nd seed and Fairhope captured the 3rd seed. Enterprise is the 4th qualifier from Region 6. Andrews' effort grabbed the AHSAA prep spotlight for Week 9 of the 2012 football season. It also edged out some special team dazzlers including Austin Dempsey of Hazel Green and John Hawkins of St. Jude, and a super team effort by Hewitt Trustin. Dempsey scored on a 70-yard punt return and a 61-yard kickoff return, intercepted a pass, and knocked down a pass in the end zone in the final minute of the 26-21 win over Buckhorn. Hawkins returned a kickoff 85 yards for a touchdown and had punt returns of 85 and 70 yards for 2 more scores in a 46-6 win over Fayetteville. Coach Hal Riddle's Hewitt Trustful Huskies intercepted 7 Woodlawn passes in a 31-6 win over the Colonels. Deontay Wilson had 2, Luke Davis returned 1 for a touchdown, while Griffin Pear, Brandon Woods, Luke Riddle, and Bailey Cash also had 1 pick each. Eli Ashley recovered a fumble and Deontay Dawson blocked a punt for a total of 9 turnovers forced by the Huskies defense. And one final note, the first ever AHSAA Super Regional Volleyball Tournament held at Huntsville and Montgomery was a huge success with 24 teams from each side advancing to the Elite 8 State Volleyball Tournament this week. The state tournament was scheduled to conclude on Thursday with all 6 state finals being webcast live to the world by Raycom Network over the AHSAA television network. Be sure to follow AHSAA News on Twitter at AHSAA Updates.
That's going to do it for this week. Make sure to tune in next week for Inside the AHSAA.